Hello, this is Chad Wallace, Supply Chain Yokoten. I got a video I know you guys are going to enjoy today on supplier relationship management. So learning very early in my career at Toyota, I learned I was actually getting excited about a supplier that was late on delivery, and my manager pulled me aside and told me to remain calm and be persistent and pleasant. And I learned very early on at the experience, always be persistent as far as he told me call him every couple hours, call every 2 hours or hour, whatever it takes, but be persistent and pleasant and remain calm in their situation. So you want to build the relationship both ways. The supplier should trust you and you should trust the supplier. So understand issues or risk, materials, tooling, manpower, quality, logistics, or capacity. So you want to understand what issues a supplier is having to help them perform. And sometimes a lot of times as a customer, you'll be able to help them with the risk, and as far as maybe you could level out your production schedule or material issues or tooling, you could offer them support to help them perform better as a supplier. And you want to share improvement ideas, whether it's going to their facility and doing an audit and share ideas that you have at your facility that they may be able to improve on also. And sometimes you do a value stream map. This is a TPS tool as far as look at the flow from their suppliers to and their production out to the customer, which is you. And with Toyota, they talk about servant leadership, and leadership develops the capacity that allows the team members to improve what needs to be done. And servant leadership, as far as a leader, you're actually working for the employees, any kind of support they need. And with suppliers, you can see this triangle here that is part of TPS. As far as suppliers, team members, and customers are at the top. Then it goes on through the hierarchy, so it's kind of an upside down hierarchy with the president at the bottom. And this is part of the servant leadership row. And the key performance indicators you want with your suppliers, as far as one of them is on-time delivery, and you want them to make sure they understand that what is considered late. Is late a day? Is late a few hours? What is late? Is late 2 days? Make sure they understand. It might sound simple, but make sure they have clear understanding. Service percentage. Did you receive a confirmation for a date and the quantity you needed? And make sure that also your suppliers know that you're going to be reviewing these key performance indicators and also sending them a scorecard with their results. D, PPM, allowable defective parts per million, the quality goal. And cost, how often should the prices be adjusted? A lot of times you could find an index, for example, a CRU index for steel, and there's other indexes out there also that you want to look at and then have some kind of decision with your supplier, but you want to adjust those prices quarterly or annually, but you want to have some kind of baseline index to review with your supplier. Forecasting is also important. What time horizon is used for materials and capacity for you? You want to get a forecast from your customers and also blow that down to your suppliers. And a lot of times you can negotiate as far as 1 month firm and for them to buy materials, or 2 months firm for materials and 1 month capacity, or you can adjust how that forecast should look for them. And also, this is very important, what forecast do your suppliers send to their suppliers? I've found a lot of times that my suppliers will use the excuse, oh, we're short raw materials, because the supplier themselves didn't send a forecast to their suppliers. They have long lead times. Do you require your supplier to keep a stock of high usage raw materials or finished goods? One way to reduce your lead time from your suppliers is have them keep either safety stock of materials that you need or raw materials to make finished goods for you. Standardization, very important. With standards, there can be no Kaizen. That's from Tocha Ono, very early on in TPS. How will a supplier receive a firm orders? Maybe use EDI, or you could look at send an email, but we need to make sure that the supplier is aware. What is the lead time? The packaging, which you see this animation on the right here, as far as make sure the packaging size, quantity, weight, returnable or disposable. Make sure that the supplier understands what packaging is needed. The label, make sure it's standardized as far as what numbers need to be on the label, the size, the placement, and what is needed on the label. And here's the AIAG label, which is standard in automotive. The packing list, what is needed on the packing list. Here's an example of a packing list. Does your supplier need to send an advanced shipment notice, EDI, by web portal or an email? How should invoices be handled? Sometimes that you could have your supplier send invoices by email or in a PDF format, or maybe a paper form, or maybe it's with Toyota, for example, that they pay for the cars built actually, and they know exactly what suppliers, what materials were needed to build the cars. And freight terms and routing instructions, make sure that they're aware of what carrier to use and the freight terms, whether it's Ex Works or if it's deliver prepaid. Make sure that everyone's aware of what freight terms and routing instructions are needed. Here's my contact information. If there's any questions you guys have about this video, or if you have any questions, anything else, or videos you want to see in the future, please shoot me an email, or if you want any consultant work. Thank you again. Bye.